Well, hello there, my kindred spirits. How are y'all doing today? I hope that every one of y'all are doing great. Now, today I thought it would be fun to share some things with you that I think that you'll enjoy, especially if you're raising little children, and then also just kind of make this a chit-chat video and tell you about several different things that we have going on here at our home. So, first of all, I wanted to show you something that we did many, many years ago when my children were small, and it's called a blessings box. And you don't have to do this even if you aren't raising young children. It's good to just be reminded to be grateful for what you have. But if you are raising little ones, this is something that does two things for your family. First of all, if you're teaching your children how to read, or your children are learning how to read, it further develops that. And then second, it teaches your children about gratitude and to be thankful for what they have. So what this is, it's just a little recipe box that, for any of you who know, there was a Hallmark store in Matthews, North Carolina. It may still be there at Matthews Festival, and I picked this up in 2005, and I even wrote it that I picked it up. I can't talk today. Picked it up in 2005 right in here. So it's 20 years old. It's been around a long time. But what I did is I found some index cards. And on those index cards, there's a lot more than just blessings in here. Over the years, it's become a place to put little odds and ends like credit cards and things like that. So let me get those out of here first. Okay, so what I did when my kids were little and they were just learning how to read, I printed out little blessings in an easy to read font, and then I taped them to these little index cards, and then I put stickers on them just to make them interesting for little ones to pull out. And so every evening at mealtime, we'd go and take turns, and then one of the kids would pull a little blessing out of the box, and then they would read it. And that's how we would say our grace before dinner every evening, was with these little blessings. And I think that I may have gotten this idea, I want to say, from Sally Fallon. I'm not positive about that, though. Wait, that is not right. Sally Clarkson. Sally Clarkson. She was instrumental in a lot of things that I did when my children were young. But again, I'm not sure if that's where that idea, see, you can see we shoved all kinds of things in here over the years. But it was so sweet because, again, the kids learned how to read with these. And then what's so sweet is they're little memories, because if you've got a really well-worn recipe in a recipe book, you can see the little stains on it from when you were cooking, maybe something splashed on it. Same thing with these. Their little hands were probably, they had food on them probably, but they dug into this little box, and then they pulled out a blessing that they wanted to say. This short one looks like it was really popular. So it's such a sweet idea. And again, they were easy to find, the little blessings that we found, and I printed them out in an easy to read font. I think that's Comic Sans. And then the stickers made it interesting for the kids. And Rebecca from Rebecca's Beautiful ASMR, I told you I loved stickers. That's the best thing in the world, stickers. They're so much fun. But it's such a sweet way to again, help your children be grateful and learn how to read at the same time. And then it just makes them feel like they're part of the gratitude, because you're never too young to learn gratitude and be thankful. And so if your children also have a turn at offering the blessing during dinner, then it makes them feel good too, and it makes them feel older and more important too. So that was so sweet for our little family. And I know that a lot of you who watch the channel, my analytics say that you are between the ages of 18 and 36, I believe, is my largest audience of people who watch, and you're female. And I know a lot of you are raising little ones at home. So I hope that you can use that for whatever it's worth. It was worth a lot to us, and I just wanted to pass that along to you as well. And then I've written down some more things that I wanted to talk to you about today. First of all, I wanted to ask you how your spiral bound notebook planning pages were going, and if any of you continued on with that. You know, I did a video back a couple of months ago about how I use a spiral bound notebook as my planner, and I have spent so much money over the years on expensive Franklin planners and just all of the planners, and they became a little too much for what I needed it for. What I basically need is just some lined paper, and where I can make the notations in, and I don't feel like I have to keep up with all of the stuff, because I can easily get overwhelmed with all of that. So just a spiral bound notebook is my perfect planner, and you can get them for 99 cents a piece typically. So I wondered if any of y'all went on to use that idea too. And then the second thing that I was going to add to that is, how is your monthly blessing going? If any of you, some of you said that you were going to continue that tradition too that I talked about during my end of year reset video, and the one with the thumbnail that has me showing the purse, the Teddy Blake bag. I had talked about how I was going to every month choose someone, and I had written a different person down for each month on my little notebook, and that month I was just going to do a random act of kindness for someone. And so I wondered if any of you have continued on with that and how that's going with you, because that's always a lot of fun to do things like that too. But let's see. Okay, so something else that I wanted to share with you. I did a short 2 weeks ago, I think, and I was down here and I told you that there were some exciting things that were happening, and I wanted to share it with you, and it was coming soon. So it is here now. And what I'm doing, some of you may know that last year I moved my aesthetics business out of the salon that I was in Locust and into my home. Well, now we have figured out the very best place for it will be down here at our Airbnb. Now, if you're brand new to the channel, we have an Airbnb on our property, and I will link a card to some of the videos that I talk about that. But it is a 2-bedroom farmhouse that was built in 1915. And in order to have a home-based business, you have to have a separate entrance for your clients to come in. And this works out beautifully because you can get into the house from the outside where my new treatment room is, and I can lock all the doors up and no one can walk around in here. So it is a very separate place to enter. And so I have my client coming tomorrow who will get to experience the old farmhouse now as the treatment room, and I'm really excited about it because it's going to be quieter. I don't have to worry about making sure that my family is out of my house for my clients. And I only take clients a couple of days a week anyway, but it will just work out better if they're down here. And so if you live in the area and you would love to have a relaxing, blissful facial experience, check out my website at lindysellers.com and you can make an appointment with me. So moving on, I have something else I wanted to talk to you about. Do you remember last year I told y'all about the homemaking and homesteading classes that I offer here at the farmhouse? And as a matter of fact, I did a couple. I think I did one about raising a family on one income for YouTube, and then I also did one about herbal remedies as a YouTube video. Well, I am going to start those back again down here. And let me back up a couple of steps and tell you why I am doing those classes in the first place. When my children were young, I was at home with them. And for those of you who don't know, we homeschooled them from kindergarten to college. And so my husband was the breadwinner, and I was trying to be a good steward of our money, but a girl's got to have some extra money to spend, right? So I was always looking for ways to earn money on the side. And so what I wound up doing was I had my kitchen inspected by the North Carolina Department of Agriculture, and that allowed me to make baked goods and things like jams and jellies and sell it at the farmer's market. So I earned extra money by selling jams, jellies, different sauces and relishes, and baking bread and some cakes. I also I made a ton of handmade soap. That was my thing for years and years, was handmade soap. I made some candles. And then I also made aprons, handmade aprons, and sold them at the farmer's market. And it was so much fun to do that. And it was a tiny amount of money. Trust me, it was mostly a way to get out of the house and earn a little bit of extra money, but it was not much at all. But it did so much more than earn money. It helped my children and myself interact with the community, which is a plus. It helped them learn how to interact with adults. They could sit there and talk about the soap and the jams and the bread, the homemade bread, to strangers, and then little kids are good salespeople, and so they would take the money and make change for people, and it was such a great little time in our lives. And so after they grew up and two of them have moved away, I still like to teach classes like that, on how to do things like that, because there's always a whole crop of new little mamas with babies coming through and who want to learn these things. And so we had good success last year with the classes, and so I'm going to offer them again here at the farmhouse. And I typically have them on Sundays. Sunday afternoons from 2 to 4 seem to be the best time, and because the mothers typically have a little break that they can get away from their children for a little while and come over here. The classes are $35, and we just have so much fun. And sometimes people will tell me years later, I never did make soap, but I enjoyed coming to the class. And that's what it's a community, first of all, that gets made when women get together like that. But then sometimes ladies do go on. I've had several students who have gone on. I'm so proud of them, who've gone on to make businesses, little cottage businesses, with those skills that they learned. And it's so much fun. It is so much fun. So I'm working on my lineup for this year right now, and it's going to include the soap making, the jams and jellies. I can't decide if I'm gonna have a sewing class or not. I probably won't, because I only have a couple of sewing machines at my house, and I don't know. We'll see about that. I may just make a video about that instead. And then herbal remedies, again, that's always a fun one. And bread baking. I'll talk about the cottage industry laws that I know of here in North Carolina. Now, there are websites that you can go to if you're interested in doing that, and you have to look that up for your own state. But it's not really hard. You just have to have a really clean kitchen, and you have to have your water tested and several different things, but you can pass that fairly easily. But an inspector does come into your home, so keep that in mind too. And it's just again, it's so much fun. So if you have any ideas for those classes that you would be interested in, and maybe you don't live here in town, but you still would like to learn about any of those sort of homemaking, homesteading type skills, let me know. Now, I will tell you that those things that I mentioned are the things that I'm best at, and everyone does them differently. This is just the way that I approached it. And so yes, for what it's worth, if you're interested in that, let me know. If you can't physically come to a class, then let me know if you'd like to see a video on any of those things, because I'd love to teach you too here on YouTube. It is so cold down here in this farmhouse right now. Yeah, it's 49 degrees on my thermostat on the wall. It's cold in here, but it's so warm outside today. I think we're going to get up to 67. So I'm going to get outside and work in my garden and start that up. I'm going to transfer my roses and do a few other things too. I'm so excited for warm weather and getting my hands in the dirt again. And my daughter and I were laughing. I cannot keep painted fingernails. I always admire people who have beautiful painted fingernails, or maybe they can do the press on and keep them on. I can't. I can't. I'm constantly rubbing my press-ons off, or I'm rubbing the fingernail polish off even. So I admire you if you can have pretty nails, but that's okay. Dirt under the nails after being in the garden is just as good to me. But also, one other thing I'll tell you about too. I got a table off of Facebook Marketplace for free from this sweet, sweet little couple in Charlotte. And so this is another thing that's going on right now. I always get these big ideas, and I don't know if they'll actually come to fruition. I hope it will, though, because this is so much fun. So I believe I've told y'all before that there is a little, we call it the studio. It's really a garage with a studio, an artist studio built onto it. And the man that we bought this farmhouse from was an artist, a working artist. And so that was his artist studio out there. And so over the years, it's been, we've had renters here and they've used it for different things. And it can get very messy because little animals get in there all the time because it's not sealed tight. So squirrels will get in there and mice. And so anyway, I was in there yesterday cleaning that place out. I looked like a crazy person. I had on a hat and sweatpants and a sweatshirt. I looked like a mess, but it made me feel so good because I got it cleaned out. And I'm so proud of it because the room that I'm going to use is so nice and clean now. And so I put that table in there that I got from the little couple from Facebook Marketplace, because what I'm going to do is I'm sanding it down right now and I'm going to refinish it and then put it back up at my house. And I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with it yet, what room I'm going to put it on in. But all that to say, we have a friend who I've told you about before who has a junk hauling business. And from time to time he gets things and he'll ask me if I want it because the people just want to throw it away. And on occasion, not really often, but on occasion he will get free, really solid wood furniture. And like in the case of this table that's out there, it's a solid wood piece. And so I told him, if you ever get any of that, let me know and I'll come get it from you. And then I'll bring it into my little studio out here and work on refinishing it and then sanding it down, and either painting it or staining it, whichever medium I want to use to make it look pretty again. So that's something else that I'm always into something. There is life is too wonderful to not constantly be learning something new. And aren't we lucky that we have things like YouTube or online classes now so that we can learn these things? Because years ago, you would have had to have been an apprentice or read books, and there's nothing wrong with reading books, trust me, I have plenty of those, but it's faster if you can watch a video and learn how to do it. And it's just so much fun. So I encourage you, if you're interested in learning how to do things, don't let Don't let anything stop you. Jump in and learn it, because it's so enriching. It's so enriching to your life and your brain, and it keeps you young and it keeps you vibrant and healthy, and it's just so much fun. So with that, I am going to sign off for now, my friends. Let me mention one last thing. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy and wishy-washy, and I probably am a little bit, because I'm trying. You can't please everybody, I have learned, and I am a former people pleaser, and I'm still working my way through that. And so I've been trying to please everyone with this YouTube channel. And so when I was doing some of the Butternut Wisdom talks, several people complained. They emailed me about it and complained about it and said that they watch my channel for relaxation and don't want to hear about certain things. And so I felt bad about that, because I don't want to make somebody not be relaxed when they came here for that relaxation. But then there were so many more, truly so many more people who said you really enjoyed that series. And I think it's important. I think it's an important series to keep, because I am that older woman now. If you're familiar with the Bible, there's the women from Titus 2 who are charged with teaching the older women should teach the younger women. And I'm at that stage in my life now where my children are grown, and I can teach the younger women things that I wish that I'd had a mentor to teach me when I was younger. So with that, I'm going to bring back the Butternut Wisdom Series. Now, let me tell you this. If you see a video, it's going to say in the description box, Butternut Wisdom. And I'll try to make a community post about this too, just in case. So if you see that and you are a fan of the more ASMR style videos in which nothing controversial is spoken, I'm not going to talk about controversial things, just maybe things that aren't complete relaxation. But if you see Butternut Wisdom in the description, don't click on it, because I could speak about something that may not relax you. And if it doesn't say that, then just go ahead and click on through, and that means that it's a relaxation video. I thought about making 2 channels. That's not going to happen. I have way too many other priorities to make a second YouTube channel. And if you're not familiar with having a YouTube channel, I think all YouTubers do this, in which we go to our analytics constantly and we look at things and look at how many people are watching and how many likes and how many dislikes and our audience and how many people saw the videos, and it can be overwhelming. And so 2 channels would just be too much, and I'm not going to do that. So again, like I said, I'm bringing back Butternut Wisdom. And if you are a fan of only the ASMR content, thank you for being here. And if the video has Butternut Wisdom in the description, skip it and wait for the next one, and I'll have something more relaxing the next time. So with that, my friends, I really appreciate you sticking around and watching this with me today. And if you're still here listening, and give this video a thumbs up and share it if you want to with your friends who you think might benefit from it. I haven't done that before, ask you to share my videos, and that's a little bit scary. So share it if you think it would be helpful to someone, and give it a thumbs up, because when you do that, it lets YouTube know that you like it, and maybe it will press it on out there for more people to enjoy it too. So I love you and I appreciate you so much, and I'm wishing the very best for you, and mwah, I can't wait to see you on the next video. Bye-bye.